For this experiment, you will want your breadboard. It doesn't need to have the 555 timer in the middle. I just don't want to pull mine out. A variety of resistors. What I have here is a 100 ohm, two 220 ohms, a 470 ohm, and a 2.2 kilo ohm resistor. You don't need to have that specific combination. We need to have a variety of batteries. I have 2 coin cell batteries and 1 AA battery. You can also have a single AAA battery and a 4 holder for AAA batteries. That's fine too. A variety of LEDs. Your speaker, that looks like this. Some jumper cables, jumper wires. Your alligator clips with the male jumper end. And you want to have those in some colors that make sense, either red and black or blue and orange. You want one color to be your positive color, and that's going to be a red or an orange or a yellow, something reminiscent of fire. And the other one is going to be for your ground, and that's going to be black or brown or blue, something fairly neutral colored. And that's just so you can keep track of which one is your positive and which one is your negative. Okay, so we're going to get started. We're first going to learn how to just use the breadboard. So we need to first connect it to a power source. You can take your batteries. These are your coin cell batteries. The positive has a plus marked on top, and it also has a casing that wraps around the side. Okay, that's still your positive side, and then your bottom is this insert here, that's your negative. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to attach 2 of these coin cell batteries. They're worth 3 volts apiece, and I'm going to use a little bit of copper tape. So just a little bit. And I'm going to fold it into a little tape loop. And I'm going to stack them. So now I have 6 volts of power. Okay. And then I'm going to take a bit of copper tape and add it to the top so that I have something to connect to that's positive, and to the bottom so I have something to connect to that's negative. Okay, you can do the same type of thing with your triple or AA battery. You can attach a bit of copper tape to the positive end over here and a bit to the negative end down here. We're going to set that one away for now. Now I'm going to attach my red jumper to the positive side of my tape. This jumper has this rubber cable over the top that seems kind of annoying. And sometimes it is, but what it does is it keeps the rest of this cable from touching over to the negative side and causing a short circuit. We'll discuss that a little bit more in a minute. Okay, and I'm going to do the same thing with my black jumper. Now, this is a breadboard. I'm going to use a jumper to point some things out. First, I'm going to zoom in for you. There we go. So this line up here is all connected. Okay, that top row, if I plug something in to that hole right there, it will offer power or ground all the way down to this negative, this last hole here. Same with the positive end. If I plug something positive here, it'll offer power all the way down to this one. Now, these are just labeled to be convenient. There's not actually anything different about them. You could swap them out. I don't recommend it. And then each of these columns is connected. Okay, so if I plug something in to here, if I pull something over from the positive side over here to this side, and go down, everything along there is connected. And I'll explain that more here in just a second. So I'm going to plug my positive end into that. and my negative end into there, and we have a powered breadboard. And we can test that by putting one of our LEDs into it. So here's my LED. As you can see, hopefully, it has a short end and a long end. The long lead is the positive lead, and the short lead is the negative lead. You want to plug the positive lead into the positive side and the negative lead into the ground. Okay, and I'm going to do that just right in this powered part of the breadboard. And you see I've got light. So everything is working as it should be. But this isn't a convenient place to make things work. So what we normally do is we use some jumpers. Again, I have red and blue to try and keep my ground and my power, my positive, separate so I can keep track of which one is which. And I'm going to drag my red, my positive, over to row, or over to column 30. And my ground over to column 29. And now I've powered those two columns with my ground and my power. And I plug my LED in and it works. Now just to prove a point, if I plug my LED down here, it's not going to work. If I take my LED and I swap it backwards, it's not going to work. Okay? It only works because I've powered the breadboard with these two jumpers and I'm using the right orientation. So I plug my LED in and it works. Now, I'm not going to use these jumpers anymore because they're hard to see on the camera. I have my own set of pre-bent jumpers, okay, and those cross over and just are neater. They have this coating on them to keep, again, that wire from touching another piece of wire and causing a short circuit. These are color-coded by length, and so I can't do the same nice thing. Also, you've heard a billion times it's not safe to play with electricity or live electricity. The detail is there's not enough power in these batteries to get through the resistance of your skin. So none of the wires that you're touching here have any danger to them simply because the batteries aren't strong enough. If you were to plug this same situation into a wall outlet, you would hurt yourself a lot. So don't do that. But as it is right now, nothing you're playing with has enough power to be problematic. Okay, so we've gotten an LED lit. And now I want to light another LED on that same set of lines. So I'm just going to plug it in. And I can have two lit together there. Now, the thing about LEDs is that's true for red and yellow. They can share a line. But that blue doesn't light up. Yellow and blue and red and blue don't work together. So I encourage you to find out if green or white work by doing your experiments. And then I encourage you to find out what LEDs work with blue. So we know which ones don't work with red or yellow. Find out if green works with blue. Okay? Find out if it matters whether you have red first or yellow first or blue first. That one didn't work because I had it in backwards. Okay? Do some experimenting to see which LEDs work together. You have a set of smaller 3mm LEDs as well. So I encourage you to do the same thing. Okay, find out if a 3mm LED works with a 5mm LED and what color combinations work. Now this is a good spot to stop and play with what you've learned already with the parts that you've already done, and we'll come back and learn about resistors.